Good evening, guys. Got another hitting breakdown here. Going to do something a little bit different. This is going to be video of Stanton actually just taking BP. It's not going to be actual game footage. I want to do that just for the fact because most of the time hitting instructors and coaches, when they're able to work with the kids, of course they want to work with them not during the game. You just want to let them go out there and swing and do their thing and see ball, hit ball. But work on the mechanics and get their reps in, get good reps in, and practice, of course. So basically what they do at the practice field, they're going to transfer that into the game time situation. So they develop bad habits in practice, they're going to develop bad habits in a game, and that's not what we want. So I thought it'd just be interesting to take a look at a player, a strong player that creates a tremendous amount of bat speed and torque. Big guy, of course, but just mechanically look at him, and there's about, I like to call them 10 absolutes of hitting that almost every hitting instructor probably follows. Might not bring them up, but they work off of, and I'm going to try to apply those to Stanton here as much as possible and see how it comes out. But those 10, I'm just going to go through them real quick, and then we'll break the swing down and see. But the first thing I look for is a balance and a workable stance. We don't want to break kids down 100% and tell them they got to do this way or that way, but by just looking at them, and you can tell if they got a balanced stance and if it's a workable stance for them. The next thing I look at is rhythm and movement in the stance. I'm a big proponent on being very athletic prior to the pitch and into the load, and of course through the swing. You see a lot of guys that'll have a little bit of swag to them, and then all of a sudden when that pitcher shows his hip, everything stops and they become what I call as a dead leg hitter, and there's no rhythm back into the swing, and therefore sometimes we lose a lot of consistency. So I like seeing hitters have some type of rhythm in their body, and they just keep that right into a load, and then that just follows right into their swing. The next thing is the weight transfer from the back to the front, to make sure that there is a very good weight transfer and they're hitting off a firm front side. The other thing I look at, and this is different with a lot of hitters, and in fact Stanton here used to step with an open, I think he's gone back to more of a closed step, but want to make sure they're not stepping so much on that front foot where that's opening up, which could pull their front side out, their shoulders and everything. So I look at that a lot. The next thing I'll look at is kind of the launch angle or the launch position of the bat once they get in the load. I like them to be almost at a 45-degree angle. When they get into the load, basically that bat knob is pointing at the catcher. I look at that a lot. I know not every kid is the same thing, but almost you want to get them back where they're going to stretch that band and create that torque in their swing. The next thing is I look for an aggressive move to the pitcher. Something that's, when they fire those hips, that's an aggressive move towards the pitcher. I think that's important. There's too many kids out there now that just swing to put the ball in play, and there's nothing aggressive about the swing. And then talk about the swing, you look for a tension-free swing. You don't want a kid to be tight up there. You want them to be nice and loose. A lot of kids get up there and they start squeezing the living daylights out of the bat. They get the bat in the back of the palm of their hand and that top hand. Drag the bat through the zone, and there's no bat speed. So, and then the usual things, you want to keep your head down and through the swing, stay behind the ball. That's what we've all grown up and heard a million times. And of course, use all fields. Now, something like this, it's tough because we're not going to, in this actual video, you're not going to be able to see if they're using all the fields because we're only going to look at this one pitch basically. And then the other thing is hitting through the ball. A lot of kids, you'll see them start to put the brakes on in their swing. They cut their swing off in their follow through. And I like to tell them, stay short inside, but finish long. Make the bat stop itself. Don't you stop the bat. When you see them kind of cut that swing off in their backswing, they've actually started to slow the bat down through the zone. So my thing is, stay short inside, but finish long. And a lot of guys, that'll stop. If you can do that, it stops that rollover a lot, and you have a nice soft top hand release. Now, not everybody does that. I know Mike Trout, one of the best players in baseball. A lot of times they swing, you can see both hands stay on there, but that's Mike Trout. So But for the most part, just want to get them used to just letting it go and staying short through it and then finishing long. So we're going to take a look at his swing. I'm going to play it through in slow motion, then we'll come back and just play it and then break down and see if these things that I talked about are working. Okay. All right. So there's a swing, BP swing. Um, and this is what he's going to repeat over and over and over. He'll surely do different hitting. A lot of these guys will just start out going backside, backside, backside. They all have a lot of different routines, but as for this video, we'll just basically break down this swing, and I'm sure he duplicates this swing a ton of times. So we're going to start it back here again, and we're going to start with the balance and a workable stance. Now, to me, that looks great. Balance is good. A lot of guys, you can tell them if you can apply, hey, you play basketball, if you were a linebacker in football or whatever, show me what your stance would be. What would you do? You're going to get a nice balanced stance so you can go right or left, that type of thing. Same thing really applies to baseball. It's almost like if I was getting ready to guard a player in basketball, I want to get in that nice athletic position in that stance and just add a bat. And a lot of times you got a stance that's nice, athletic, and balanced. So he's got an outstanding stance right there, I believe. It's very workable stance, very balanced. So we'll start it. And you can see here's his rhythm right now. So he's got a little bat swag, pitch is on its way. He has not stopped his bat. So we got rhythm into the load, okay? So we're going to look, let me go a little bit farther here. And stop it right there. Okay, so this is what I really like it right here too, bat angle. We were talking about before, I love he's got the knob back at the catcher. If I drew this thing right, a line right through here, that bad boy's loaded. The knob is back at the catcher. That's where I want to be. I'm nice and square right up here in the shoulders, which is great. I'm close. I call it shaft to shoulder. Bat's going to be here. It's not going to be getting away from me out here, which can cause a lot of guys to cast. Now he started his stride as well, of course. Here now we can see we're going to see how he lands here. And like I said, now when we say step with the front foot closed, we don't want him stepping completely closed, but we don't want that front foot when it hits the ground totally open towards third. So let me start this. So boom, foot down. Nice position right here. We started our hips, of course, have started our rotation here. The weight shift is starting to go from back to front. But see, that front foot is planted, okay? It hasn't opened up here to the third base side, right? So we're getting ready to hit off a firm front side right here. All right, now the other thing this is starting right now because our swing is already starting, and this is an aggressive move towards the pitcher, okay? So what I like right here, again, there's no extension right here. We're getting ready to make contact. We've got a firm front side. Now this back foot, this great weight shift, you're going to see this back foot. Most good hitters, this happens. You're going to see that back foot come off the ground just a little bit, not a ton. If I can stop it. Saw it move just a little bit there. He's made contact. Let me back this up just a little bit. I want to get okay. So he's just about made contact right here, right? So we don't have extension, which is great. You can see his toes off the ground a little bit there, firm front side. We've got the nice angle right here. We don't have total extension. And you can see here, and I didn't mention this before, we want flat hands at contact. We do not want this top hand to roll over on the ball. So that top hand's going to be palm down, and the bottom hands are going to be palm up. So if he was to open up his hands, one would be palm up, one would be palm down, but they'd be nice and flat. There's no rollover. Okay, so he makes contact. It was a nice short stroke to the ball there. Okay. Boom. So he starts his rollover right here. So he's out here with his bat. And he starts his rollover, and then we're going to finish. See where he finishes. And you can see right there, he's really He's created some serious the weight shift there. Still gone through the pitch. Foot's off the ground. And he gets pretty long with his swing. He used to be real short. He used to cut it off a little bit too. If you go back and look at some of his swings early in his career, he used to muscle things out. But he's gotten a little bit, the upper body's gotten a little bit looser, and he's kind of reinvented his swing. So you can see he's got the top hand release right here. And again, he is not slowing his bat down. This is a BP swing. So he steps out of this at the end. But overall, look at that. Let the bat stop itself. You don't stop it. So all in all, I think that's a pretty damn good swing. I mean, like I said, he's big and strong. He can get away with a lot of things that, of course, young hitters aren't going to be able to. But for the most part, he works. He tries to do things, perfect his swing, which most big leaguers do. All big leaguers do. But the superstars, they just get it a little bit more. But hope you guys enjoyed that. This was actually, I got an email request to break down his swing, so that's why we did it. Found a pretty good video of him just taking BP. So looking forward to getting out on the field, seeing you guys in about 3 weeks. And you guys have a great weekend.